Thank you. Thanks, ladies, for being gracious. I am just going to wait. I will start at 6 minutes past. Actually, there's something going on now on my screen. Okay.
It's time to go.
Eventually.
Okay, ladies, thank you very much for joining us. As you can see, Louise just had to drop off. She started the recording for us. This afternoon session, I'm going to take you through the NOW.CULI app, and I'm also going to spend quite a bit of time on the CHQ. But I'm first going to go through the slides, and then I'm actually going to do a physical demonstration on both pieces of tech and allow you some opportunity to ask questions. So I just want to reiterate once again, some of you already registered on NOW.CULI app through Would-Be. If you are already on the app, you don't need to register again. However, you will see if you go onto the app again, you'll see that you've got multiple login screens, and I'll show you what that looked like a little bit later. Multiple login screens in the sense that you've now been added to the Women in the Built Environment program, but you're also part of the Marcelo Lucani group. So it's nothing, it's just when you log in, you're going to have two little banners, one for Would-Be, one for Marcelo Lucani. You then choose which one you want to engage in. But when I take you through the actual tech, you'll see a little bit later what that's all about. So just a quick, I see that there has been quite a few of you that have been sending through your submission readiness documentation. Just a quick reminder, if you have not completed and have not sent it through to Louise, please send it through. I know that some of you have requested, where you have to do your experience audit. So I'm going to show you on the tech just now, how do you complete your experience audit and your gap analysis on the CHQ platform, so that you know exactly how to get into the system. So for today, unfortunately, I'm all by my lonesome self. So ladies, you're welcome to interact with me. If you want to put something in the chat box, please feel free to do it. If you want to ask a question, I've got both of my screens active, so I will be able to see when you guys raise your hands. Welcome to today's session. Unfortunately, because it's going to be the tech side that I am going to demonstrate and show to you, it's going to kind of feel like I'm talking a lot. You're welcome to just raise your hand and interrupt me, just so that we can get other voices in the room. I'll also from time to time ask you if there's any questions that you want to or that you have regarding what I am presenting. So I'm first going to start off with a demo on NOW.CULI, but I'll just have a couple of slides that I want to share around NOW.CULI first. And specifically with the Would-Be and Marcelo Lucani logins. As I said, it won't be two separate logins. Once you are on the system, you're on the system. So when you log in, you will be able to choose which one of those two groups you want to access. And then I'm going to do a demo on the CHQ. And then later, from the 13th of May, there will be candidate and mentor training. I will assist Phil with that training. Remember that on the CHQ, you are going to start populating your information. Your mentor will also get an email with his login details. And once Louise have paired you, you will be able to see, your mentor will be able to see what's going on in your CHQ. And I will sit with Phil next week and we will demo it so that you see Phil as my mentor and I'm engaging as a mentee. You will be able to see how we communicate with one another. I'll also show you on CHQ what the communicator looks like. In terms of the communicator, it's another functionality that we literally launched about a month ago, and it literally allows for individual communication with each other, especially with regard to your submissions. Then we'll have a Q&A session after that. So just, I think it's just important that if we talk about the NOW.CULI app, it's important that we talk about social learning, right? The NOW.CULI app has been designed for many-to-many mentoring, right? And typically in our mentorship situations, we link to one or two or even sometimes three mentors that mentor us in different areas of our lives, right? But what we sometimes don't have is the kind of social learning mentoring that comes with what the app is provided. So the program or the NOW.CULI app has been designed to facilitate social learning in the sense that it look at that when we learn in a social environment, a lot of the time our new behaviors we learn through observing others. And I'm sure you, throughout your career, have found many people of which you admire one or two things that they do very well, and you've incorporated that in your day-to-day life. Also, as you engage with your mentor, as you engage with peers in your working environment, there's certain things that come, or you go through a process where you learn something, but when you start engaging about it in the workplace, you then start learning certain things, and through that, facilitate your personal growth. So what we are saying is that we are creating an environment that through new behavior that we observe and through imitating others, we actually facilitate our own personal growth. And it also provide us with an opportunity to share our own success stories. I mean, I have over the last, since we've started Wordby and since people started becoming active, I mean, there's such a lot of pieces of information that comes through, and that information can come from various areas. Remember, this is a platform where you either share information that you've already learned, or you ask information. Maybe you're going through something in terms of your candidacy journey, and you want to know if anybody else out there can assist you. You can just ask the questions on the platform and people will be able to respond to you in real time. It also facilitates collaborative engagement and access to knowledge within a safe, secure environment. People always ask, but isn't there something that we could also do in WhatsApp? Yes, there's a whole lot of things that we can do in WhatsApp, but WhatsApp is not always so safe and secure. And I personally feel, those algorithms follow you wherever. You can have a conversation on WhatsApp and suddenly you're bombarded with information based on topics of conversation that you've had. So within the NOW.CULI app, it's a secure environment and you're getting access to people that's on your journey, on your personal developmental trajectory. Or it's people that has gone before you that have information that they want to share. So we facilitate collaborative engagement on the NOW.CULI app. It's also facilitates real-time information. So in other words, we learn through context, right? In our academic environment, we've always been exposed to content. And I will throw this challenge out to you. If you think back of your master's, your honors degree, your BTech, your diploma, all your academic qualifications that you've done, if you think back and you have to quantify how much of that information that you've gleaned through that academic process are you actually utilizing today? I personally, it's probably even less than 5% of the information that I've learned. And I've literally done my master's, what, three years ago. And if I think about everything that I've learned, there's about 5% of that information. However, if I am in an environment where some of that information becomes pertinent, I will pull that information through. Hopefully it's still sitting somewhere in my brain and I can pull it through, but it only becomes valuable if you use it within your own personal context. And that's what the app literally does. It allows you to ask for questions or ask for information when it is contextual. So you're not going to ask anything people about specific processes or specific codes, etc., when you're not going to need it, but you're going to ask that questions when you really need it in an environment where you're working with the information, etc. So it's also about sharing contextual information, and that you get through your peers, mentors, and experts. As you guys know, I'm sure you've seen it, that most of the speakers that we've had on the Would-Be program, they're also active on the NOW.CULI app. So as you think back on certain sessions, I mean, I remember Refill where after her presentation, there was such a lot of information that came through. I mean, Refill spoke about certain books that she's been reading, etc. And immediately on the app, people start sharing the information, the authors, other books, summaries of what she was talking about. And that's what we're talking about, contextual information at our fingertips as and when we need it. So before I continue with, so this is what our NOW.CULI apps look like. So I'm quickly going to stop sharing here and I'm going to open my NOW.CULI app. So remember, your NOW.CULI app you can access on your phone or you can access it on your computer, because I spend the majority of my time in front of my laptop. I've literally just uploaded it on my laptop. So I'm going to just quickly share if you give me a chance. Okay. So this is what I said to you earlier. When you go into your NOW.CULI, right? So you'll see that I'm involved in a lot of groups. I've got my Knowledge Mentor group. I've got Would-Be, I've got my AECOM group. I've got Cell Networks. I've got my NOW.CULI. So when you open your NOW.CULI, you will have Women in the Built Environment and you will have my NOW.CULI. My other groups is just groups that I'm involved with in mentoring conversations or mentoring programs. So I've got all of my groups that reflect as and when I open. So if you go into, for instance, the Would-Be platform, what you can see, those of you that has previously gone on to the Would-Be, has gone on NOW.CULI, you'll see that we have streamlined a bit. So instead of creating posts, asking questions, posing contributions, etc., we've literally just streamlined, and you're now only going to create a post, whatever that post is about, whether you're looking for information or sharing information. We don't have that classification around the information anymore. So I just quickly want to take you through your menu. So on your menu, remember your home page is, if you open that, that would be your landing page. Then you have your leaderboard. I think one of the, sorry, it just takes a, why does it take so long? I don't know what's going on. My computer page has been giving me beans since I've been registering this morning. Sorry, just see if I go in this way. Can you see if I bring up the menu items? I'm just not understanding why it's not going to. Okay, guys, let me now not try and. Okay, the one thing that I would want for you to definitely know, if you look at your menu, right, and you go to the bottom of the page, you'll see there's a in your drop down, you've got install app. So if you're going to download it for the first time, you've got the opportunity to install the app. The one thing that I just want to mention, for those of you that utilize Samsung, that's got the latest Samsung phones, please know that when you try and do it through your Samsung browser, it will deny the download. There's nothing wrong with the app. What you have to do is that you have to, the link that Louise have sent you, if you copy that link, just put it in your Google browser, and you will be able to open the app. Once you've downloaded, you can actually just click install the app, and it will install either on your phone or it will install it on your computer. Remember, this is not the app that you're going to get through the app stores, is what we call a web aggressive, not aggressive, progressive. Listen to me, progressive app. So in other words, as you download it directly from your browsers, and then you can install it on your phone. Once it's installed on your phone, it will automatically update if we've got updated versions of them. Let me see again. Yeah. This is the last time. If it doesn't go, oh, okay. Thank you. So in terms of your leaderboard, remember that your app has been gamified. So as you adding information on whether you are responding to other people's posts or you put your own post, there is an opportunity for people to vet your posts. And please think about it in the sense that when you are looking for information or when people are sharing information, you won't necessarily find value in every piece of information that comes up, right? But every so often somebody would post something that you feel, sure, this is really something that is benefiting me, or this is something that I've been struggling with, and this post really just gave me value. So you're going to rate the post based on the value that it is providing to you. So there might be one post that Pearl, for instance, might think, no, this is not valuable at all. But when I look at the post and in my current environment, it is absolutely valuable for me. So Pearl might score it a 1, she might rate it a 1, and I might rate it a 5, right? So that's how we do that. We look at other people's posts and we rate their contributions or the information that they've shared. But when we respond to them, so let's say somebody is sharing an interesting model or an interesting piece of information that they've learned or that they've experienced, and I love it, but I also have input to it, and I can add to their post that they've logged. I can respond to that. So anybody else in the forum that actually look at that post, they can score the person that originally posted it, but they can also score every piece of contribution. Now, based on that, you'll see that we then accumulate points. And as we accumulate points, people will go onto the leaderboard. So what you will see typically on the leaderboard, you will have the people that rank the top 5 on the program. Right now, what we typically do with the ranking of the top of the leaderboard is that we flush it every 3 months. So it's not that you're going to start off today and suddenly realize, oh my goodness, why am I even, I'll never get to wherever they are, mentoring master or knowledge night or whatever the case may be. What we do is on a quarterly basis, we flush scores and people literally start from overs. Okay. And I think Phil has mentioned that the top 3 people that consistency score higher, but there will be an evaluation at the end of the year. They're actually going to try send the top 3 scorers, going to send them to the Women in Construction in the UK awards that Shelley is one of the adjudicators. So that's just quickly as far as the ranking is concerned. Then I also just want to go and show you the knowledge quest. Why is this thing refreshing every time? Just, this is frustrating. So this is your knowledge quest. It just shows you how the rating works. So remember, when you rate a post, you can rate it on a scale from 1 to 5, where 1 is it's good, somebody shared something. 2 is I actually find that quite useful. 3 is where it's great, 4 significant, and 5 is when you really look at it as an excellent contribution in your personal view. What we also have is that between the management team in Marcelo Lucani and Whitby, we also have each got a knowledge team that we are responsible for. And when individuals post contributions that is linked to our particular knowledge themes, I can go and give an executive rating. Now, executive rating scores a 10, but then it must really be something that was, I've never even thought about it, I've never heard about it. It's really something that was for me, myself. If you're talking about leadership, it was something that was particularly mind-blowing, and I can then give an executive rating. The one thing with executive ratings is that each of these theme leaders can only give one executive rating in that 3 months, right? So it's not also that the leaders, the team leaders will just give executive ratings as and when it comes. We can only give one. So if we found a post that we thought this is the one, and we allocate that executive rating, we don't have any executives rating left until the next cycle. Okay. Then just with regard to status cycles, status level, so you'll see just what each mean. So you go from an erudite explorer right up to a worthy wizard. As you could see earlier when I showed you, we already have 2 or 3 people that's sitting at level 6, mentoring master, and they are on to the next level. So if I go to my homepage quickly, what you're going to see, when you open your homepage, you'll see right at the top where it says, welcome back, Celestine Erudite Explorer, and then you will see it says 0.640, and then how much points do I require to go on to my next level. So we also try, we would typically, when other people post, create post, we will respond to it. As and when we see there's certain themes where there's not a lot of interaction, that theme lead will also add some contributions, but for the better part, we actually allow the ladies from Whitby to engage as much as possible with each other, but we will go in and we will give feedback on that. So what you can see, we also have what we call themes, right? So we've got open discussions. This is where you want to ask or you have some input that you don't feel fall under the existing themes, and you can just put it on as an open discussion. Psycho-emotional support, there's the webinars and presentations. So all the stuff that we're doing online comes through on our webinars and presentations. So if you are looking for a specific Whitby webinar that's happened, you can go there and you'll find the link to that particular webinar. Then we've got professional networking, well-being and wellness, new members introduction. So if this is the first time that you're actually engaging on the Whitby platform, you can just introduce yourself so that the rest of the people know who you are and how you fit into the program. Also give a little bit of your background. Reading and research, as you can see, especially with our experts, presenters that come and do presentation, a lot of them identify certain books that they feel it's quite important from a personal development perspective. So that recommended reading and research will go in there. Then we also have a theme around social impact, AI trends and innovations, unfair practices, and then especially for the EWSETA ladies, the Women in Water ladies, there is what we call registration support. So if there's any questions related to your registration journey that you have, you can just slot it in there. Okay. So when you create your post, I just want to quickly, you'll see there's a knowledge team and who do you want to share it with? So you can go in and say, I've got a question around psycho-emotional support, or I have a contribution around psycho-emotional support. Okay. Then who do you want to group it with? You want to share it with a Whitby group, you click on there. And then once you're done, there's also an opportunity for you to say how urgent this post is. Let's say you need information quite urgently. You can actually go and you can log it as an urgent or a not urgent. When it is urgent, you will typically see when anybody logs in, they will have a little red button that sits next to the menu, a little red tag, and that will show them that there is a urgent post in the app that they can attend to. Now, the person that asked the question or the contribution and rate it as urgent, they are the only people that can go and take that urgent notification off, purely because the question has been answered, or the information that they've received from various people that responded to their post have provided them with the information. You type your information. You can also attach a little picture. So let's say you find, let's say, a model, a 4i model in terms of empowerment, or something interesting, or a different view on the Johari window, or the difficult conversations model, anything. And you find a beautiful picture that depicts it or represents it, you can then just go and attach, and you add it, and you can also then add comments to that picture that you've uploaded. You can also upload a small little video. If, let's say, you're on site and there's a health and safety issue that's happening, and you feel, actually, I feel the ladies that's in the Women in Water group can actually benefit from that, you can also take a little video on site, right? And then you can upload it onto your post. Okay. Just quickly want to go back to the home. So what you will see in your home page, you will see information as they've been uploaded, etc. So you can go into a theme. So if you look at it, you'll see in transition and leadership, there was a post 43 minutes ago. Well-being and wellness, there was a post 10 hours ago. New members introduction 35 minutes ago. So you'll also see how people are responding. You can also see, when you look at your open discussions, you'll see in that particular tab, there's more than 99 posts in there. In your professional networking, you can see there's 87. So that gives you a clue of, which is the more popular themes. Now, what we typically do is, when we really look at the themes on a quarterly basis, we kind of look at which are the themes that is not, or doesn't produce a lot of traffic. Then what we would typically do, we would archive that. We don't completely delete it off the app. We literally just archive it. So we have what we call MHQ, and at the back end of that, we can go and check all the questions that's ever been asked against any theme. We can filter it against any user, etc. That will provide us with information. So if you go into, let's go into transition and leadership. As I said, there's been something 43 minutes ago. And you'll see there's a conversation that Sean posted. As you've seen, that Sean is one of the ladies that has been doing quite well on our leaderboard. I think she's number 4 or 5 on the leaderboard, right? And this is information, and this is something, like she said, she saw this on LinkedIn, and it was something that resonated with her, and she put it in here. Now, it's not going to resonate with all of us necessarily, but for 1 or 2 people is to say, actually, I really think this resonates with me. Now, if you can see, she's recently posted, she's not received any responses. So you can go in and view the conversation, and you can respond, right? So you can either rate this post. When you rate the post, you can go in, and so you can see, as a leader, I can rate this because it's in transition into leadership, and I'm the leader for leadership. I can go and I can give her an executive rating, or I can rate her any of the 1 to 5 there, right? I can also go in, and when there's, I can go in and I can actually post a response, right? So I can here put on my response to whatever she's posted, and then I can publish it. Once it's been published, whoever goes into Sean's post will see her post. They'll also see everybody that has responded to Sean's post, and they can rate each of those contributions individually. Let me just see what else. So you can go into a theme. What it also does is that it provides you with the information on the different themes so that you can go and see. Let's say you want to maybe post something about 5IR leadership, for instance, or 5IR skills that every leader knows, or if you want future fit leadership, right? You want to go see if there's anything around that. You go back into your home. I just go back because you go into your transition in leadership and you can go through all the posts that has been posted around leadership. Okay. So that's typically what it is. Let me just see if there's anything else around here that I just want to highlight. I don't think so. Okay, I think this is mostly what it is about. So if you've registered onto the NOW.CULI app, you can go in and just go boss and start adding all of your information. You can start posting, etc. And you'll see that the ladies are actually quite, there's a big majority of the ladies that are quite active. You'll see some of them are very active in leadership and not necessarily in other areas. Psycho-emotional support, as I've said to you, is also quite a popular. This thing is just beating me today. Okay, so I've been in leadership. You can also go into psycho-emotional support, and you can see that there's various posts, people link it to specific pictures, etc. But it's typically talking about those things that resonate with you and that you feel others might also can also learn from. Okay, any questions? Because I am going to stop sharing and I'm going to take you through to CHQ. Okay. Any questions? Not some. Okay, I just want to, so I just need to remind. I can see a hand up. Sorry, I'm just struggling to get the name because I'm on one screen.
No, it's fine. Rebecca.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Rebecca.
I see Louis has posted a link in the chat box that takes you to NOW.CULI, but now I'm struggling. It literally says verifying the link, and next thing my screen just goes blank. So I'm not sure if am I the only one that's struggling, or if there's other people that are struggling to gain access to the app itself. Thanks.
Hi guys, any of you try to click on the link and are experiencing a problem with it? Because I've actually tried now, Rebecca, as you were talking about the challenge that you're experiencing, I actually click on the link and it took me to NOW.CULI on my Edge browser, but it's just buffering also, I have to be honest.
I'm not sure what the challenge could be. Is it compatible to all browsers, or is there specific? Because you can see that it's on NOW.CULI, but the screen is blank. Nothing is happening. There's no welcome page or anything like that.
Which browser are you using, Rebecca?
I'm using Safari.
Safari. Ooh, maybe try, if you have a Google browser or Edge browser, maybe try with that. I remember when I initially logged this on my iPhone, it didn't want to go through on my Safari browser. I had to copy it and paste it into my Google browser. So just check if you do that while I'm going through. If you still have problems, then I'll just ask Louise to check with. Okay. Okay. So Unati. Hi, Unati.
Hi, how are you?
I'm all good, thank you.
I'm good. I don't remember seeing the link to the for the download. I just wanted to ask, was it shared via email?
Are you talking
And
about the
when,
NOW.CULI one?
when was it? Yes.
Okay, Louise actually put it earlier into the chat box, but I've now just reposted it in the chat box. So you can just click on the link. If, like Rebecca, you are experiencing a problem with your browser, just try to copy it into another browser and see if it's working. If not, just let me know and I'll ask just to check with Jason what the problem can be.
Okay.
Hang on, Ati, can you see it now? I've just copied it on in the chat box for you.
Yes, I can see it. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Just let me know how it goes. So I'm not, this was just an NOW.CULI that Phil sent through to me to say that if you just scan it, it will take you through the NOW.CULI walkthrough screens. You're welcome to do that now, but you can also just click on and it will take you through the walkthrough. Can I just ask just for 1 second, just one? Okay, so what I also want to do quickly is I'm just going to take you through the CHQ, or what we call our candidacy headquarters. That's typically for your person. So on your candidacy headquarters, remember this is your candidacy development portal. And on this one, I know some of you, especially those of you that are literally on the brink of submitting your registration in now in June, August window. You might not put as much information as possible, but I can show you how you can utilize it in order to do your, how to do your experience audit, and I can also show you how to utilize it in order to do your gap analysis. So this is just a couple of screens that I'm going to take you through, and then obviously I'll take you into the actual CHQ. So once you register on CHQ, now Louise identified when I spoke to her earlier, she said that everybody has been registered. Please just double check. It might have, if you have not received an email, please let me know. She also said, I need to mention that it might have gone into your spam because the email don't come from Louise. The email come from KMI developer. So it might have put it into your spam. So please just make sure it's got KMI developer. And what it will have, it will literally just says, welcome to CHQ. And that you are registered. It will give you your username. That would typically be your email address that you've been registered with. And then it will also give you a password, right? So once you register into the password and it's your very, very first time, there's terms and conditions, right? That you can go through. It's literally just about communication policy and how your information will be utilized. So you scroll right to the end, scroll right to the end, and then accept the T's and C's. Once you accept the T's and C's, it will tell you, welcome to career headquarters. And then it will give you your NOW.CULI and CHQ overview, right? Okay, Rebecca said she didn't receive it. Kululeka also said it goes blank after inserting OTP. That's so crazy. Sumaya, thank you. I also see your comment. Unfortunately, email is not in the system. Please try again or contact KMI. Thanks for that screenshot that you sent me. Thanks, ladies. What I will do, Louise is just currently at the hospital. She's got a family member that's needs going through operation. So what I will do, I will just double check with her once we have a meeting after the session. So Paulo says it's working on his side. If you having trouble, please just plonk it in for me, and I will make sure that I just follow it up with Louise, and we'll send an email to update. Okay, cool. So now when it will just give you, so this is what your homepage will typically look like. It will have goals, journals, presentations, and insights. So your goals is where you identify goals. So I typically start off my mentoring, for instance, you've seen that AECOM is one of my clients. What we typically would do, we would talk them through how to set goals, and that goals would be very much around goals that will going to assist them in getting to or closing their gaps as far as the EXA journey is concerned. Journals is actually a space where you can keep track of your learning, and this specifically works very well for candidates that are just starting their journey. I mean, we have candidates that start their journey, they brand spanking new. Their degree certificate doesn't even have a fold or anything in it, right? That's how new they are, new kids on the block. So when they start, one of the things that we taught them right from an early stage is that they've got to start journalizing. And journalize is just their little learning moments as they go through their professional development. They capture their journals, etc., so that they make sure they have information. When they start writing their TERs, the information that they want to capture is all sitting in journals that they can just then extract and consolidate into their TERs. It will also have information that they can utilize at the end of the day for their engineering report, etc. Part of the journals is that they also have to capture all their learnings, again, outcome 11 in terms of any professional development areas. So they need to ensure that under outcome 11, if there's any courses that they've gone through, any certifications, certificates and etc. that they've completed, whether it was an program that they got an certificate, etc. They need to upload everything on CHQ. So we'll also have a record of all their learning moments throughout their career, but they will also have all their certificates, etc., in one place. So when they start consolidating their training and experience summaries and their TERs, engineering report, etc., that's where they will access all of that information. Presentations is a new functionality that is not yet active, but what we are the purpose of that presentations is we want to start giving candidates the opportunity to do their presentations through CHQ, and that their peers can actually evaluate and give them feedback. So Unati, typically once you put in your, I think it's a email address, it should send you an OTP. If you don't get an OTP, then there must be something wrong. Thanks. As we go along, please just plonk in your messages there. Once I'm done with this, I'll just have a quick meeting with Louise to ask her to follow up on those things. So setting goals, I'm not going to go into detail because once I'm actually on the platform, I'll take you through all of this. So you've got your setting goals. It's what we call a quick access button for journals, presentations, and learning insights. The one thing that I didn't discuss is learning insights. It's literally just as we go through our careers, we learn a lot of things, and there's certain insights, whether it is around our insight is that we haven't really realized that there's such a vast difference between South African standards and international standards, or you're currently working on a project in the Middle East and you realize how different their way of work is, or you've learned the fact that when you're on international projects, it really play havoc because when you're about to go sleep, that's when some of your colleagues only wake up and they schedule meetings that you just have to be available for. That's the kind of things that we are talking about in terms of sharing your learning insights. Remember, like I said, when you share learning insight, not everybody will gain value from it, but there's some of us that it will resonate with. So that learning insights provide you with that platform. Then also on your homepage, you've got your personal progress. So that progress will be towards a specific goal. So when you've set goals for yourself, you can then track those goals, your percentage completion on that goals. It also allows you to generate certain capabilities that you've got to develop in achieving that goal. And then you've got your career progress. Your career progress is literally your progress against your registration date. So like I said, for those of you that are in the next 3 months, not necessarily going to find value from this. But those of you that are going to be in this for a little bit of a longer term, if you utilize this with your mentor, remember it's not going to take the place of your one-on-one meetings with your mentor, but it's literally going to support the conversations that you're going to have, and I'll show you that in a little bit. Then you've got your goal quest, right? From a psychological perspective, that they say that we achieve goals that we get an emotional connection with. And one of the reasons why we ask you to actually go into thinking, what's your goal quest? What do you want to achieve? What makes you passionate about, right? What is it that's really going to help you to get your energy flowing, etc., and that's going to meet your goal. So it's either the vision that you've set for yourself. I always say, when I explain this, I always say, ladies, you will know if at some point in time you've said that, oh, you know what, I actually I'm getting married, I want to become more healthy, I want to shed some of the kilos, etc., and this is where I'm working towards. If you have something that you can physically see, that this is what I'm working against. I know my daughter, when she got married, and she had a wedding dress, she literally had a wedding dress to say, this is what I'm working towards, right? That was a vision in terms of making sure that she achieved her health goals, etc., that she set for herself. Now, this is typically what we said. It's that thing, that dangling carrot that is motivating us and get us and keep us moving. So that's why we ask, create an emotional connection with your goal in terms of what you want to achieve, right? You also have your goal quest image. Like I said, what is going to keep you moving? What is your vision? What do you want to achieve? And this is something that you can set with yourself, or sometimes I know a lot of you also have coaches. Speak to your coach so that you can just articulate what it is that's going to motivate you and keep you going. You also have an opportunity to add your personal profile picture. You can put information around your years of experience, geographical location, etc. Then this is quite important. It's going to ask you, what is your professional body? For the majority of you, it will be EXA on some of the programs that I'm running. I also have SSC, QSP, SSC, PCMP, etc. So you just plonk that in. Basic registration details, what is your personal registration number, and then once you're literally done, and you can now launch your CHQ. Okay. So just an example. So this is, I'm sure Phil has showed you this, I think even in our session last week, he showed you this is your career experience audit. This is literally an opportunity for you for, especially we use this with our mature candidates or candidates that come from other programs or other organizations and now become part of a formal program, to do an experience audit to kind of figure out, where are you now? If you look at your professional journey, remember, if you write your TERs, etc., you always write it in terms of your experience report, and that is very much related to your degree of responsibility and how you've moved in different projects to different degrees of responsibility. So we ask that you just kind of map out your career experience so that at the end of the day, you utilize this as a blueprint for doing a gap analysis. So what you take is the information you've got on your career experience audit, you just transpose that into your what we call your gap analysis. So that's typically your competency, your outcome description, your competency indicators, and then you look at, in terms of your degree of responsibility, how did you move from just being exposed to contributing and performing? And it allows you to actually plonk information as you take them from your career experience audit. Okay, so now let me show you what it actually looked like. So let me just open my wikis here. I'm going to start sharing now. CHQ. Wait a minute. me start sharing. So this is what your CHQ look like, right? When you go into your CHQ, this is what your homepage is going to look like. I see there's a couple of people that says they haven't received their emails. As I said, I'll just double check with Louise. So typically you're going to put in your email address and you're going to get a password. So I've got quite a few. I've got quite a few profiles. Which one do I want to go into? Admin, no, not admin. Make mentee. That's where I have it. Okay. All right. So we log in, and then you go into your landing page or your home page. This is what it's going to look like. So as I mentioned to you, around that areas that create your emotional connection. If you look at the top side of the page, right up until here, that is the things that we add in just in terms of creating that emotional connection. It's your goal vision, it's your motivation for success. Let me just see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Make this so bigger. Okay, so we might not be able to see everything, but at least it's a little bit bigger. So in terms of your information, so as I said, that is your top goal vision, motivation for success, and your success slogan. Yeah, this is very much individualized for each and every one of you. It's going to look different, but you add that. Then the next question that is going to ask you, what is your challenges and barriers, right? So your challenges and barriers are literally, what are those things that can become a derailer for you from achieving your goals? And then now that you know what are the potential things that can derail you from the process, is also looking at, so what strategies am I going to put in place in order to ensure that I stay on track? Okay. That's something that you can add afterwards. There's your quick access buttons, as I said. Now, the interesting thing is once a mentor and mentee start engaging on this, such a lot of information that you can find. If you can see under my goal, so right at the bottom, you'll see that it says minus 249 days to next goal. Now, the minute it says minus 249 days to next goal, it literally means that I've not done anything on my goals for the last 249. It sounds like almost a year, and it's probably 8 months, if not 9. But in my goals, I have not updated anything. Now, this is for a mentor and mentee. If you're actively engaging on the platform, for the mentor, I always say that this is a platform that's going to give you information that you take on into your face-to-face discussions. So Phil would typically look at my goals and say, CJ, can we have a conversation? I've just double-checked and I've seen that you've not gone and added anything to your goals. What's cooking, what's happening, right? So that's the information. If you look at your journals, it says there's 49 days since my last entry. Now, mentor, if your mentee goes 49 days without any learning moments, it's impossible. There is no way that the engineer will be operating for 49 days without having learning moments. And it's literally around motivating them to ensure. And guys, I've seen that. I'm not sure for you guys right now, but I've seen mentees that are literally, they say that they want to submit registration in January 2025. And then when you ask, have you written a TER? They've not started writing a TER. If you ask them, have you kept up to date with your learning moments? Do you have journal entries? Somebody will say, yeah, I started it in the beginning of my career, but I haven't kept it up. Somebody says, no, I actually had a spreadsheet, but then something happened to my computer, the spreadsheet is gone. Or somebody said, I had a little notebook that I kept all my learning moments, and that has disappeared, and I've since moved and I've misplaced it, etc., etc. So there's a lot of things. And I always say, look, it might just be because I'm old, but I can hardly remember what I've done last week, Wednesday, let alone what I've done 5 years ago when I started my journey. And that's why the journal function is such an important function for us, especially if you still have a longer term with each in which you register, which for a lot of you, but I know there's also certain people that have about 12 or so months before they're going to register, and you'll find benefit from that. Because remember, if you're a mature candidate specifically, you would have to write TERs for your last three years of working, etc. So capturing journals as and when, so a year from now, you're still up to date with where you're supposed to be. We're not necessarily asking you to backdate it, but we're saying if you're going to start and you've got a year or so ahead of you, start making use of this information. I'm not going to go into that. Now you'll also see on my progress, you'll see 19% progress. Now what it does, it says to you that I've got a total number of goals that I've set for myself. I've set 3 goals. In the current year, I've only got 1 goal. Mentor another conversation, right? Where are you? Okay, maybe I'm in my last 6 months of my candidacy journey, and my only goal is that I want to complete my final submission for EXA, right? I'll show you just now that when you have your final submission, let's say I say final submission, I can then take my goal and I can break my goal down into smaller tasks. So in my smaller tasks, I'm going to add, I need to complete my TERs, I need to get them signed off, I need to start writing my engineering report, I need to start my TES, I need to end, right? Because this is what submission readiness is going to do. What do I need to do for all of those to make sure that if I want to submit in the next 6 months, I have a goal in terms of how I'm going to get there. On my career progress, this is something that we just need to sort out. I actually realized when I spoke to Phil earlier, it says that my target date for registration, and we're not understanding even why, because you'll see that my target date, if I show you just now, it's completely different. That thing just messed me up. Then what you also have, you've got your managers, mentors, and subject matter experts. So this is all my mentors that I've got allocated to me. What you can do, you can say add my mentor, but you can also say link my line manager. Now, typically, the reason why we have both of them, in a lot of our programs, the line manager is not necessarily the mentor. But the line manager, remember, they play a critical role in development. If you and your mentor identify certain gaps, your line manager is the person that's supposed to ensure that you get exposure. On one of my contracts, I find that a lot of the candidates don't have access to, they don't have site experience, right? And there's no opportunities for them to be seconded. Then the conversation with the line manager is what projects do you have coming up? How can we incorporate the mentor or the mentee in those projects coming up? Can you put the mentee in the next project in a leadership role or a role where they're going to operate at degree of responsibility, etc.? That is why your line manager and your mentor both feature on the program. I'm not going to go into the knowledge repository in detail. What I am going to show you quickly, I see that we still have 30 minutes left. I am going to show you how you complete your profile. When you eventually get your login details, I think the first thing that you need to do is to complete your personal profile. So there will be certain information pre-populated. That would be with the amount of information that Louise have available, right? You put your email address, that would already be in there, your years of experience. Then you have to click allow mentors or managers to see my profile. Because what it does is, if this is disabled, it means when Phil as my mentor go onto CHQ, he won't be able to see my profile. So I have to activate it to ensure when Phil goes in, he can actually go and access my profile. Your place of work, your just information details, it just says make. Louise will pre-populate that. Ethnicity, gender, if you have any special needs or disability, then also you add a profile photo and then you save and continue, right? When you save and continue, it takes you to the next one on this orange banner, that's your career profile. What this allows you is to just add a mini resume, right? So you can put in what you do, you can put your qualifications, if you have any other professional registrations, if you've got business membership. So let's say you are a registered construction project manager. So you can put SSCP CMP there. You're also registered with SIC as a member for all of that information. Talk about your experience and then also just a bit of a personal resume. This is just where we connect as individuals. And then you have your work history. So yeah, you just add all your previous experience. Now, why is your previous experience important? Remember, when your mentor go and evaluate your work readiness, right, and they get access to your previous work history, they can say, but you've identified 5 companies that you've worked with previously, but I only have 3 TERs, right? That's that information for. It's not around, it looks at what your experience are, but it also look at what other companies have you worked for, and do you have the requisite TERs for that particular organization? You have it, it's signed off, etc. Cool beans. Then the next thing is our career frameworks. So your career framework, it's literally you can add your career framework and then just plonk in your information around your professional body. So the modal that comes up, there's a drop down. You'll see SSC, PCMP, SACAP, SSC, QSP, etc. So when you are under EXA, also be clarify, is it Inch, Techno, or Techno? Because remember your competency profile look a little bit different, in terms of well-defined, broadly defined, and complex engineering problems and whatnot. Okay. Now, the reason why this is so important, that if you are going to utilize this to capture journals, your journals need to be captured against the outcomes for each of your individual outcomes. So if you don't add a career framework, you won't be able to utilize your journal. Then your academic profile is just talking about what your qualifications are. So you just plonk in your information around your latest qualifications, etc. You can just do that by adding. The next thing is your documentation. Remember, there is certain documents that's a prerequisite. Remember, when you had to submit information to EWSETA, there was certain documentation that they required, your candidacy registration, your identity document, your highest qualification, etc. So that just identifies your candidate commitment and commitment agreement, your initial professional development records. That is all the learning programs that you've completed, that you have certificates and stuff for. With one of my other clients, we're expecting them to do quarterly progress reports. So that's what that is all about. Then you also have your guides and training assets. Now, your guides and training assets, that is typically your mentoring guides, your discipline-specific training guides, etc. That sits here. If you go, you can just view your folders, and under your folders, it will tell you you've got your professional registration cover, you've got your guidance note, especially around TERs. I see Louise didn't upload the actual RO2s and RO5s in here, but we can link that there as well. And then when you go into your summary screen, it just gives you an overall summary. So the next thing that I quickly want to show you is your My Progress. Remember, I said I am going to show you where you have to complete your career position audit or career experience audit. So this is where you will put that information. Now, remember, I've said I've got 10 years experience, so it will automatically give me 10 years, 2015 to 2024, right? Which means I have to go and capture information for every year where you have. So when you want to start populating this document, what you go is you go click and you just say add an audit. And when you click on there, you will automatically put information. So it gives you what project did you work on, the duration from when to when, who was your employer organization, who was the key persons. Now, the reason why we ask you to put key persons in here, remember when you write your TERs, you've got to add an organogram, right? And over time, they will see how you've moved from either right at the bottom and then right on top. Remember, it says ask you for two levels above and 2 levels below, right? And that's typically to show how you've grown over the period of time, because ultimately you're going to be a leader in a particular project, etc. You will then be at the top and you will only have 2 levels below. Or when you start off your career, you will have you at the bottom as a person that's going to assist, etc. And then you're going to have 2 levels above you. So that is why that information is so important. So as you put the key personnel in there, and you've got to go and put that into a organogram, you can then plonk your key people in there. Your client information, who's your client on that particular project, provide a brief project or activity description. So what did you do on what was the project all about, right? Then you give a brief description of your key roles and functions within that project, and then your unique learning moments that you've experienced throughout the project. So this is this modal will just pop up. You populate it, and once you populate it, it will automatically equate into the year for which you've completed it. At the bottom, you've got your gap analysis. So you'll see that I'm EWSETA now. So when I click on there, it will automatically provide me with the EWSETA framework. With the EWSETA framework, my competency indicators, range statements, etc., I can go and capture information against these that's going to help me. So I can show for each of my specific outcomes, how did I move from assisting degree of responsibility A to degree of responsibility E over the last 10 years of my career or the last 7 years of my career. So that information then becomes like I said, with Phil, if Phil and Tom and the mentors evaluate your information, they will be able to go do it, use some of the information that you put in your CHQ to just do an evaluation and determine where are you, you know, in terms of your gaps, in terms of your career position audit. Are you okay? I mean, most of you have indicated that you're ready for registration together with your mentors, so that will be able to help. And like I said, not necessarily all of you will go in and complete this, because some of you are in the last 6 months, you've got all your ducks in a row, then this is going to be completely obsolete. But if you've got another year or let's say 18 months going, I would really suggest that you utilize your position audit and your gap analysis, because that's just going to allow you to kind of also figure out where am I? Is there any gaps that I still need to close in the next year or the next 18 months of my journey? Quickly, just in terms of setting goals, I'm just going to quickly just show how do we set goals. Remember, this is your information on your homepage. If you want to change anything, let's say what motivates my motivation for success, or etc. I want to change that. I can say I want to edit or update my goal quest, and it will allow me to change anything. I can also go and add and edit my strategies for success and my challenges and barriers. So you'll see that I have at this point in time, this is my goal. I said my goal was completion of my TERs, and I said my due date is, my target date is the 30th of June, right? Now, interesting, if you see that I look at my current tasks, I've identified 9 tasks to complete. I've identified 9 tasks in terms of completion of my TER, but at this point in time, there's 0, and I've got a month left. So for my mentor will have a field day with me in terms of, CJ, can we just have a conversation around this? I mean, if you want to complete it in June and all of the 9 tasks you've identified, you've not complete one, you have a problem, because 72% of the time has elapsed already, right? So you take it from when you load the goal up until, you know, the goal is completed, or when the target date is, it will tell you in relation to that time, how much of the time has elapsed and how much have you done in that, right? So you'll see my progress is 0%. So what you can also do, the system allows you to add 5 goals for the next 5 years. So let's say I had a goal for 2023. So if I go back, it will tell me this was my 2 goals that I had for 2023, and I've only got one for 2024. So I'll just quickly show you. If you then go into view goal, you'll see the information that pops up, right? It gives you details, what the goal is all about. I say complete TERs for previous roles. Why would I do it? Because it's critical for my submission, and my metric is by the 30th of June, I want to complete 3 TERs, right? So if you now go into my task, it will give you the 9 activities. Remember I said there was 9 activities. So now you can see the target date was on the 1st of January. It's over 122 days, over 115 days, over 108 days. Now, this is where the mentor come into play and have a conversation. And that's why I said this support the mentorship program. It doesn't replace the mentorship program, right? My mentor can actually say, Madame Zanzibar, you are not on track. You are not going to be ready to submit in the next 6 months. I would suggest you get the ball rolling. Think about what it is that you need to do to get yourself back on track, etc. Right? So that's just the information. Thanks, Paulo. Noted. So that's the information that, So that's the information that becomes available as and when you complete the information. So as you complete the information, you will then be able to access. So you can tick off your activities as you would go along. You can see, you can just say mark as complete, or you can go and edit and say, you know what, this year has mentally, I was not ready for this year. So I can go and edit, and I'm going to say, actually, I want to I'm going to revert this or defer this to next year, and I can go and edit each one of this, and I can change my dates, and it will literally just update. I mean, I didn't put anything around my engineering report, etc., but I can go in and I can say, I want to complete my engineering report. Let's say I defer it and I'm not going to submit in 6 months, but I rather think I'm going to do it within a year. So by for the June-August window in 2025, I will be ready. So this is how this tool can utilize you just to manage your own development, manage your candidacy journey, and just allow you to keep track of what is important for you to complete. Like I said, when your mentor go in, your mentor will have his or her own profile. When they go on to, just want to see, do I have a I do have a mentor. So just I just quickly want to show you what the mentor's profile would look like. This is just a quick one. This is just for added information. Yeah. Okay, this is what your mentor has got, the same things here on top, but this is what happens in your mentor profile. So it shows me that this is my mentees. I can now go and say view my mentee. And once I say view my mentee, I will see exactly what I've just described to you. It's got my homepage, it's got my development, it's got my goals. I can go and view it from that side. If your line manager is linked in as well, your line manager will see exactly the same profile. Okay, that was just a quick, by the way, something. I think done. I know I spoke a lot. I'm sure you guys are tired, but I hope that you kind of just get a feel for how the platform can assist your candidacy journey, and how it can just help you to keep track of what it is that you need to complete, set your goals, set your due dates, and the platform will manage that for you. Okay, any questions? I see there is a couple of, Dinyake Izitwene asked if CHQ and NOW.CULI is linked. At the moment, it's not. There has been quite a few requests that we, instead of having the insights that we have NOW.CULI as a plug-in to CHQ. It is on our development calendar, but I don't think it's going to happen for the next couple of months. So just with regard to that question, I know that there's some of you that still indicated that you either don't have the login details for CHQ, you haven't received that, or that you're still having challenges with NOW.CULI. I will just, I've got a meeting with Louise at 5:45, then I will just follow that up with her. Any questions? Because if we don't have questions, we can actually just close the session. But before I close it, any questions, any concerns besides the one that you've already raised in the chat box? Okay, I don't see any hands, guys. Then I want to say thank you so much. Thank you for Pearl. Yes, Pearl?
Oh, yes, yeah. Thank you. I just wanna find out if are we going to be using CHQ to submit the EXA reports? Is that a channel improved, or we're gonna go manual filling up the document that Karen sending through the final EXA?
Sorry, Paul, I didn't get that. Sorry, my sound just kind of got wobbly.
Sorry, okay. I had a document for registration for EXA a long time ago, fiddling with it, hoping I would get an opportunity to fill it in and submit. But I'm here now, it's Maselulekane, so now I'm hoping that I'm getting a quicker way to submit the EXA report. Is it that way, CHQ, capturing in there that
No. No, you actually still need to upload it on the EXA website.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Nati?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to find out. I'm struggling with people that are struggling to get the the OTP message in the email.
OTP.
Are you going to assist us, because I can't get it? I've tried so many times.
So typically, what needs to happen, if you ask for an OTP, the OTP is not going to come to your email. Your OTP will come through as an SMS on your cell phone number that you've registered. So you use your email address as a username, but when it sends an OTP, the OTP will come to your cell phone number. So if it doesn't come through to your cell phone number, you can just, I think some of you did put the notification here in the chat box. I'll just double check with Louise. Then what I'm going to ask Jason, if he can register you so that we just send you login details instead.
Okay, I'll appreciate that. Okay.
Okay,
Do I
not a
need to
problem,
send
Anaki,
anything, or you just ask?
No, I've got it here. You
Okay.
did make a note here in the chat box. I'll just use that information. Thanks, Anati.
Thank you very much.
Okay. I just want to ask the question, is it Dinyake or is it Chwene? What is your first name? Sorry about that.
My first name is Trin. Dinyake is the same name.
Chwene. Okay, thanks, Chwene. You've got a question?
Yes, I do have. As you were taking us through the CHQ, I was also on the side doing mine, but there's somewhere where it asks you of any affiliation with any professional bodies. I see the QS, I see the project managers, and it also asks if you have target date for registering. I just want to find out, is this for EXA, no any other professional bodies related? Because I was just shocked to see other professional bodies that we have to choose from.
No, it's literally for EXA. Remember with Marcelo Locane, we've got people that's on different. At this point in time, the majority of people that we have is only related to EXA, but we also have a few people that's quantity surveyors that's registered with SSC QSP. So we've just made provision for that. And that's why I said, when you look in that drop down, you'll see it will have EXA first, and then we'll say in brackets, it will say engineer, technician, or technologist. But there is other professional bodies that we also pull through on Marcelo Locane.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So please, guys, if you're going to use that drop down list, make and that's why I said make sure you pick EXA, but also make sure that you classify your category of registration properly in terms of engineer, technician, or technologist.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. If you don't have any other questions, thank you so much, and thank you for being patient with us today. What I am going to do, like I said, I'll just ask Louise to help me to deal with all the queries that's in the chat box. And we will see you. I think you guys have been invited to the Marcelo Lucani session on Wednesday, if I'm correct.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, okay. Awesome. So I'll see you guys then. And good luck. I know that it is quite a lot of work and quite a lot of things that's going into it, but just think about it. Next year, this time, you will be free at last. I know there's a few of you that's got a year going ahead, but I mean, one of the things is that we are going to assist you in getting through it. So thanks, everybody. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thanks very much.
Only a pleasure. Thanks.